No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Unity of the Blue Ridge. Those of you that are in the building and just coming in the building, would you turn and wave to those who are in the back on camera and PowerPoint and live stream, and welcome our live streamers who are joining us from wherever you are. Thank you for joining in. My name is Darlene Strickland. I'm the senior minister here, and it's my joy to welcome you this morning. We always begin our time together in prayer. I invite you to take this opportunity to just simply become still for a moment. As we close our eyes, we give ourselves a moment to fully arrive. We give thanks for this day and the anticipation, the joy, that which brings us here, an opportunity to celebrate, a spiritual filling station, a place to come and have our cup filled, a place to remind us that we are whole and holy and full, always. And so we open this day and this time to be blessed, that we can be the blessing we're created to be. And for the many gifts that flow through this, individually and collectively, we are truly grateful. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. You are in for a treat today. We have Daniel Nahmod in the house who's going to be with us. He'll be with us shortly, yeah. I'll tell you a little bit more about Daniel soon. But first, I want to welcome back Mary Kay Williams, who's often traveling with her job. She's back today. And this amazing Unity Band, we're going to ask you to stand on your feet as we open with a song that says, "Everybody, get up on your feet."
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
You're sounding good. One more time.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Everybody on your feet. Take this opportunity to turn and welcome those around you with a namaste, a handshake, or a hug. Welcome. Welcome to Unity this morning, wherever you are. All right, and stay on your feet for this song. is in this place.
We have come together as family. We have gathered here in love. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. We know Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. We sing, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise a room with shouts of praise, Spirit's in this place. And we sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm, and we affirm all life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. We know Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. We sing, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise, Spirit's in this place. Dave Delarosa. And we sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm, and we affirm all life as sacred. And we declare that peace is here. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. We know Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. We sing, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the room with shouts of praise, Spirit's in this place.
Yeah, Spirit is in this place because you are in this place. Thank you so much. You may be seated. What a beautiful, beautiful group you are this day. We want to begin this opportunity by acknowledging our youth program. Reverend Gabby and Reverend Barbara Ann are going to head over, as well as today, Mary Kay. Not only does Mary Kay Williams sing, but a lot of times she'll be traveling on a cruise ship or out somewhere at a festival, because not only does she sing, she draws caricatures. So today she's having a mentor moment with our young people. She's drawing each of them, and she's talking to them about that process. So we want to acknowledge our youth workers and our Sunday school program. Some of them are already in the back, yeah, but thank you so much. So would you bless our youth and each that are working with them today with this affirmation that says, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. have a wonderful Sunday school program this morning. We're going to look forward to seeing some of those caricatures. I've never wanted my features accentuated. They were big enough. But that is so much fun. I want to do a huge shout out of acknowledgement. If you see these festive balloons around today, it is a beautiful leftover from the volunteer appreciation banquet that we had Friday night. If you attended that banquet, you know it was just over the top. Linda Jones, would you please come forward? And Deb Vatiri. Deb. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Sarah. Yeah. Sarah, come on up. First of all, we want to begin by thanking you, because if we did not have volunteers, we would not have had the reason to create a spectacular volunteer banquet. But we're so blessed with our volunteer program coordinator, Linda Jones, who spearheaded the whole thing. Yes, thank you, Linda Jones. Our in-house chef extraordinaire, dinner party planner, who catered the entire event herself, Deb Vatiri. What an incredible meal that was, yeah. And Sarah Kors and her musical partner duo, Mark. The music they provided was just spectacular.
And a big thank you to you, Reverend Darlene, for spearheading, really, the entire event and giving us the opportunity to express our appreciation, because we just love you all so much. And the time and energy and effort you put in as volunteers is evident in this community. We just take care of each other. We work hard to serve one another. And then we have a whole lot of fun. And we were even dancing and everything. We had a great time Friday night. And it was so wonderful to see you all there. And also we want to remember the ones who couldn't be there, either for illness or other problems, or just because they were away on vacation. But we'll have another time to also give thanks. But we really appreciate you so much. And thank you for coming on Friday. And we look forward to other times and working together as teams. It really makes this community hum. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much.
She always gets scared when I'm behind this mic. I would like to thank this community for giving me the opportunity, here I go, for serving you. Everybody who attended on Friday night, could you please stand up? You guys are what put that. You guys are the ones that put the U in unity. So give yourselves a say it.
A big hand.
A big hand.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. We truly thank each and every one of you for being a part of that. And if for some reason you weren't, stay tuned next year for the next opportunity. We also want to take just a moment to acknowledge anyone that may be here for the first time today. If this is your first time, if you just simply raise your hand, we don't ask any more of you. But if you're comfortable, raise your hand. And Unity folks, if you saw a hand go up, would you lovingly point to them until our ushers and our welcoming team can find them? Joan, there's quite a few back in that direction. So Unity folks, lovingly help us find those that are here for the first time. That is a connections card, and attached to that card is a red heart. And that red heart, if you wear it, it will allow us to acknowledge you as a newcomer. There's information in our Welcome Center. But we affirm this blessing to each and every one, whether it's your first time or you've been here every single Sunday, that same blessing that says, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. I want to thank you so much. This morning, I'd like to invite up Reverend Megan Goshevsky and her son, Marcus. The first Sunday of every month is Intergenerational Sunday. We are an intergenerational community, creating opportunities for our youth from all ages to interact with our congregation. So the first Sunday of every month, our older teens, the tweens and the teens are in the building with us, the sanctuary, and they have asked if they could share the inspirational reading sometime. So today we have the absolute honor of having Marcus. Would you please welcome Marcus and his mom, Megan.
So thank you all. I'm going to let Marcus read here in just a moment, but I wanted to introduce this book because as part of what we're doing in the youth program is we're learning the principles of unity, but we're also learning a little bit about the history of unity. And Marcus and I did some reflection, and anyway, long story short, we found this book here not that long ago called Gems of Wisdom from Black Leaders in New Thought. And if you do not know, you might know Della Reese. Does anybody remember the actress Della? Did you know that she was a unity minister? Oh, yes, she was. If I loved her in that show, Touched by an Angel. Yes, that was where I came to know her. Anyway, long story short, she was a unity minister, and Marcus is going to read some of her words today.
I want to teach you to watch your mouth. Your power and my power is located at the root of the tongue. It's our power zone, and the voice is the most direct avenue of expression. All words are formative, but not all words are creative. We use our words to form things we really don't want, when we could and should use them to create what we do want. Charles Fillmore said, and I agree with him totally, the more we are quickened with spiritual faith, the more our words are endowed with power.
Thank you, Marcus. All right, in just a moment, we're going to invite Daniel to come up, but I want to just give a shout out to 3 things that are upcoming. They were on the slides, but so that you know what's ahead. Next Sunday is called Repurpose Sunday, Recirculate Sunday. It's part of our commitment to sustainability. So you have the opportunity to bring in any items that you may have, any things, not clothing, not magazines, but other than that, we're going to be set up on the patio. Bring in your items before service, and then after service, hopefully you'll find something and take it home. So it's part of recirculating and repurposing our good. There will also be coffee for that. Then the following Sunday, June 18th, many of you may know that Reverend Christy is going to be retiring from our ministry here and stepping into her next phase of living as a part of her upcoming birthday. And so we're going to have a celebration on June 18th for that. There'll also be refreshments after the service, so you don't want to miss that Sunday, June 18th. And then the last Sunday of the month, David Alt, another amazing singer-songwriter in the New Thought movement, is going to be here with us. So the month of June is packed with wonderful things every Sunday. We hope you'll come out for that. Today, we have the pleasure of having Daniel Nahmod. When I was in ministerial school at Unity Village in seminary back in 2004, every 10 weeks, we had what was called an intensive, where the entire day we spent it with someone going deep. And one of those was with Daniel Nahmod. And I'll never forget that. All of my classmates and I were so moved by this incredible, he shared his story. He told us about his life at depth and just how he had made changes and totally committed who he was and how he's truly authentic and living. Since the late 90s, Daniel has been making his living as a singer, songwriter, speaker, producer, probably most important, a humanitarian. It's not uncommon to see him on stage with Deepak Chopra or Marianne Williamson or many of the others, Neil Donald Walsh, names that you'd recognize because they see who this man is, and he is the music that they select quite often. So it's our joy today to have Daniel not only here for some music and a message during the service, but at 12:30 he's going to be offering a concert. So even if you thought you had plans, you may want to consider changing those after you experience Daniel today. Would you please welcome Daniel Nahmod?
Thanks. Good morning. Do you ever feel, but try to ignore something real, something more? Well, your secret's safe, but by the way, I feel it too. So this is me. I've got to go. I've got no plan. I've just got to know what's calling me, 'cause I believe it's something true. And I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. If it's the last thing I ever do, I'm gonna find it. It's just a matter of time, yeah. And when I do, I promise you it's gonna be real. I've never been the kind of guy to stride the stage, to own the night. I'd rather hide. I'd sooner ride along than drive. But in my dreams, how sweet it feels. The red turns green, hands on the wheel. The road is mine. It's finally time to bring on the light, and I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. If it's the last thing I ever do, I'm gonna find it. It's just a matter of time, yeah. And when I do, I promise you it's gonna be real. Smiling at strangers, passing time. Am I still alive? Or staring down danger in overtime, with destiny is mine. I'm gonna find it. If it's the last thing I ever do, I'm gonna find it. It's just a question of time, yeah. And when I do, I swear to you, it's gonna be real. Gonna hold it in my hand, gonna taste it on my tongue. Gonna show it to the world, gonna tell them what I've done, yeah. Gonna see it with my eyes, gonna carry it in my arms. Gonna shout it to the wind, gonna feel it in my heart. That is not mild. So it's a little bit of a mislead, that song, actually, because raises immediate question, for me anyway, which is what it is. What exactly am I looking for? And what exactly are you looking for? Teslas are nice. We moved into my wife and I moved into a fixer-upper with our little boy, in 2019, which was closer to a knocker-downer than a fixer-upper, and has gotten, people always say, well, at least it's got good bones. Nope, no good bones. Not even that. So a backyard would be nice, or a frame for a house that wasn't 40 to 70% eaten by termites. I'm looking for that, and I don't know if I'll find it without a lottery ticket or something. But I also know musically I'm looking for things. Kind of always dreamed of being nominated for a Grammy. Always dreamed of turning on the radio and accidentally hearing, it wouldn't necessarily be my own voice, but accidentally hearing a song that I wrote. Actually, even more exciting than that would be Jude turning on the radio. That would be even more, I think, impactful if he heard it on the radio. Daddy, that's your song. Because I know that's a moment that would be installed in him. Do you know what I mean? Like I had that moment. Boy, am I already digressing from anything I was going to say, but I had welcome to my world. I had that moment in 8th grade. My 8th grade class went to Washington, D.C., and we took a tour of the Library of Congress. And my dad is 45 years a law professor of civil rights, just retired, and he wrote a book, which is kind of the book on his specific area of civil rights, First Amendment rights, and it had just been published back then. And this was in 1982. We went, and it had published in 1979. So we went to the Library of Congress, and I still remember. And I was not a cool kid, but for 30 seconds there, I felt pretty cool when we went to the Library of Congress, and I was able to show my classmates my dad's name in the Library of Congress. He had a book. That's all you needed. Library of Congress has them all. And there it was. And that's how I feel it would be if Jude heard a song of mine on the radio. So there's things I'm trying to find, earthly things. Maybe you're thinking of things you've been trying to find, certain kind of career, certain kind of spouse, certain kind of flat stomach, certain head of hair, certain hiney and jeans, you know what I mean? It's like whatever it is, right? We're all trying, most of us. Very rare for, raise your hand if you feel like everything in your life is enough. Really? I'm happy for you. You should teach a class, because I have never, ever had that feeling. Not about everything. Sometimes I'm like, that's enough. I got it. I'm good. But I'm still thinking I should have eaten less ice cream last night, or wish I'd made $200 instead of $100, or you know what I mean? Like there's always something, or Tesla. Okay, you still need a Tesla? All right. So your hand is half up. I got it. Yeah. So I'm 52, and the older I get, and I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why the sort of awareness has been creeping in, but it has been that the things I've been looking for, trying to find, are actually not the things I've actually been looking for. What I've actually been looking for is the feeling behind the thing. Like, I once worked with somebody who had just been on the Oprah show, and I said, what was it like? I actually asked her privately, what was it like after the Oprah show? And she said, I went back to my office the next day. And that really struck me. I'm like, oh, of course, you go back to work. Not like, you float on a cloud the rest of your life or something, And even if it's, let's say, the launching pad of your best-selling book, you still got to tour and talk and read from it. You still have meetings, and you still have a follow-up to do, the dreaded second book. You know what I mean? So what is the thing you're looking for, and what is the feeling behind it? These are the two operative questions, it seems to me, even in terms of that feeling of having enough, being enough, earning enough, losing enough weight, looking good enough, making enough money, having a big enough car, having a big enough house. telling your kids you love them enough, being happily married enough, having traveled enough. All these feelings are so elusive, right? What's the feeling underneath the Grammy or underneath the Tesla? Marketers know, by the way. Right? Marketers play that game all the time. They press those buttons intentionally. They're brilliant at it. The best are brilliant. They don't tell you that drinking Coke is, freaking delicious, because it is. They tell you it's it. What's it? They show people smiling and laughing, right? Show you on the beach. They show somebody sexy in a bathing suit. They show somebody, so there's always at a party, the giant family, nobody's actually fighting in the giant family. It's like they show you the fantasy life, and they associate it in your mind, consciously and unconsciously, with drinking delicious, intensely sweet, bubbly water, mysteriously brown, That's what, so what was I looking for? I moved to LA to make music for a living in 1998, made my first album in 99. That song those are the opening words of my 23rd or 24th album. I actually haven't been able to figure it out, but that one came out just this past October. And yeah, I'm still trying to find things. But when I went to LA, what was I actually trying to find? I was trying to find a music career, pop music career. And I moved into the belly of the beast. I moved into West Hollywood. Don't get me wrong, the apartment was an actual beast. It was a rent control awfulness, 800 square foot of misery. But there I was in the center of the music business. And in theory, anyway, I was chasing that. I was trying to meet songwriters and producers and get gigs and whatever. And meanwhile, something underneath the thing I said I wanted kept causing me to choose what I really wanted, if that makes sense. In other words, I was saying that I wanted this, but I was, actually one of my favorite quotes, what you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say. I love that quote. And what I did spoke louder than the thing I said I was chasing. I thought I was chasing the pop thing, and I was not cut out for that pop thing. Evidently, I wasn't, because I chose everything but. Whether or not I could have even gotten it is a different question, but you don't get the feeling that Lady Gaga wakes up in the middle of the night wondering if she's living out her destiny. It's like, seems pretty clear to her, or what I mean? It's like these people aren't racked with internal torment. Should I really be a pop star? Is there something more true for me to be? You don't really get that feeling never got that feeling from Madonna. They were right where they belonged. Ed Sheeran, right where he belongs. Brilliant, just right in the pocket. Taylor Swift, right there, right where she belongs. I kept choosing these extremely unlucrative and low-profile things that felt a certain way. They felt like I was, nothing I'm saying is to sound noble, because I kind of wish I didn't have this in me. I'd have a college fund for my kid, if I didn't have this. So there's nothing about this is to sound noble or impressive at all. I'm just saying I kept choosing to do this human thing, this write a song to make somebody's day better thing. Really. Write a song to make the world a tiny bit more peaceful thing. That is not the path to riches. There ain't no genre. There ain't no radio station. There ain't no Grammy. There's nothing. Nobody cares. And I mean, you're looking at a guy, I have sold more records than many people signed to major labels over the years. I've sold, like 150,000 records. But I sat in a record industry executive's office one time, and the person introducing me to her said, "This guy sells records. He can't stop. He sits down, he sings a song, and people want to buy his record. He sold 100,000 records." And the woman behind it was a major label. She said, "No, he hasn't." I said, "I have." And she said, "I would have heard of you." I said, "No, you wouldn't have." Entirely under the radar. I'm not in the music business. All those CDs shipped by me or my assistant. You know what I mean? It's like, and that it was very unimpressive to her. The fact that she hadn't heard of me was the game ender. Do you know what I mean? And I relate. And I understand. So when I think of the most meaningful things I've done, I don't think of the fleeting show business successes. There have been a few. There have been some cool little moments here and there. Meeting this person, singing for that person, you know. Winning a few little things. No Grammys, but winning a few little prizes. But those aren't the things that land. Those, if I say I'm going to find it, and if I'm honest with myself, it's a different kind of moment than the show business moment that I've been trying to find. I've never understood how you turned out so good with all that you've had to endure. No one expected you to make the best of you. The deck stacked against you for sure. The more that I learn, the more I admire how you never got burned, being forged in the fire. Yeah, an ordinary mortal would have quit by now. With a life like a field full of mines, you're human, I know, only muscle and bone, but you must have steel in your spine. You never talk about when you first figured out that you'd have to go it alone. It breaks my heart to picture you, a child hiding out of you, so young to fight on your own. But still here you stand, and still here you are, igniting the world with your luminous heart. Yeah, an ordinary mortal would have quit by now. With a life like a field full of mines, you're human, I know, made of muscle and bone, but you must have steel in your spine, and that would explain how you never admit any pain. So let me just say that child has a lot to be proud of, but no longer needs to keep the world at bay. If you were mortal, you'd have quit by now. You've been counted out so many times. You're human like me, have steel in your spine. Yeah, mortal would have quit by now. But your light was determined to shine. You're so much more than they see. A superhero to me. You must have steel in your spine. You must have steel in your spine. You know what a meaningful moment is? A meaningful moment is singing that song early on and having a woman roll up to me in a wheelchair and tell me that she had, I believe it was spina bifida, and had steel put in her spine as a child, had never walked, and that song captured her life story, that it was as if I'd written it about her. That kind of moment. I'd love to sing at Madison Square Garden. But that moment, how much is that worth? In my value system, probably in yours too, but in my value system, I'm talking as a show business guy, as a guy who moved to LA to, in theory, hit it big. And then to sing a song that I write as a 50-year-old man and sing it for an audience of people I don't know, and for a woman to roll up with tears in her eyes and tell me what that meant to her. No. Another moment was a moment involving my boy. No, I will not go on and on about my boy. Jude. Jude is 11, and on Friday, 2 days ago, he graduated. He finished elementary school, finished 5th grade. Yeah. But when he was just starting in school, there was a kid in his class who didn't speak a word of English, who had arrived in the United States from Vietnam with his baby sister, who was approximately the single most adorable living thing I've ever seen in my life. And their 2 parents, who were as sweet as could be, and you could just tell from the smiles and the eagerness, but you couldn't understand a word any of the 4 of them said. And they put their boy into school, and to hear Jude tell it every day, that little boy, call him Ethan, was struggling in school. Who wouldn't be? He was like 5 or 6 years old, didn't speak a word English, had no idea where he was, didn't know anybody, couldn't understand a single instruction. Anybody's mind would be blown, and his overwhelm was coming out as, throwing elbows and sort of disrupting, and the teacher was incredibly sweet and kind of warmed up the rest of the class to give him space and so on, but it was every day, almost every day, that poor boy was struggling. Then one day his teacher called us, my wife and me, and told us that she had been reading a book to the class, 28 kids on the rug, and when she finished the story, she said, Jude raised his hand and said, I think Ethan did such a good job listening that he should get an extra point today. Right? One sentence. And when Jude came home, I told him that of all the things that people could say of you, of all the ways you'll be described and thought of in your life, from your daddy's perspective, to be thought of as kind is numero uno. There is nothing better in the world. And again, this coming from a guy who would have gladly, done something show busy, which involves some BSing. It does. It involves some schmoozing. It involves some preparing and acting. You know what I mean? It just does. And meanwhile, I have never been able to muster a pre-planned set list for a concert, for God's sake. I mean, that... Yeah, but then you go to a stadium show, and they know exactly where they're going to go at all times. They know what song they're going to sing next. Sometimes the patter is the same, but those people really do well. Like who was I saying? Richard. I was telling Richard earlier, I would have done much better, probably as a career, if I would rehearse something. And by the way, the voice inside my head is my dad thinking, we paid good money and he couldn't even practice. That's... So that phone call from his teacher inspired this song. Another song you'll never hear on the radio. Lately I've been thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone. There's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think the world is his to save. It's too much pressure anyway, it can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope, my boy, you'll come to understand. No 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. Put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters. what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child. Now, there is one other aspect of this story I've been telling you about me, and yes, I'm oversharing. And in fact, it's steadily dawned on me over the years that I overshare for a living. And not how I was raised to be. Am I the only family weirdo in this room? No way. No way. Yeah. I am very much the family weirdo, the liberal, the sentimental, the emotional, that's me. And I wasn't raised to hold up kindness as the highest value, but I also wasn't raised to be a rock star. I was raised to be a lawyer, pretty much. Both my parents are attorneys, not just my dad, the law professor. But the missing piece of the story, and I only have a few minutes left, but the missing piece of the story, for me anyway, is not only what is it that I've actually been trying to find, and it's looking back, it's clearly a feeling of making a difference, of mattering, of touching. Right, rather than triumphing or, grabbing a spotlight. You know what I mean? That's clearly a higher priority for me. But then the follow-up question is kind of naturally going to be a why, to some extent. If you are looking, if any of this is stirring a thought for you about the choices you've made in your own life, like what you've actually been trying to find, the feeling you've actually longed for or wanted, or even the feeling you've actually found. It's kind of a natural question after that, like, where did I get that longing? Who planted that in me, or how was it born, or was it a reaction to something? Sometimes, let's say, somebody will long for a big family because they had a tiny family, or long for a stable and peaceful home because they didn't have that. They had the opposite growing up. We look for things to. One of my favorite lines, George Carlin line. We spend the first 9 months of our life trying to get out of the womb and the rest of our lives trying to get back in. So for me, and I don't have time to go into detail really, because I would like to sing you one more song to close this little thing, whatever it is. But where it actually comes from over the years has steadily dawned on me that I do this thing, whatever this thing is, in honor and in memory of people I loved and knew, but also people I never met. So let me explain real briefly. I am Jewish, and my grandparents on my mother's side barely survived the Holocaust. They left their town in Poland the day before the Nazis arrived in that town. This is in September of 1939, and crossed over the border into Russia, where they were given the choice of joining the Russian army and going to the front and almost certainly dying, or not. And the not meant they were sent to a work camp in Siberia, where they barely survived and never talked about it for the next 2 or 3 years. But while they were there, word got through to them from people who had lived in their area in Poland, near the Russian border, that the day after they had left their town and crossed over into Russia, the Nazis had arrived and killed everyone there. So they found out while they were thousands of miles away in Siberia, scraping out an existence, that their parents and their grandparents and their uncles and their aunts and their brothers and their sisters and their nephews and their nieces and everyone they knew and everything they knew was gone, that there was no home to go home to. And they made their way, no one knows how, to the only safe place in Europe for refugee, paperless, stateless, penniless Jewish survivors, and that was American-occupied West Berlin. My mom said that America was a country paved with gold. She still remembers taking the boat over and seeing the Statue of Liberty in the distance, and having all those refugees who had been sponsored one way or another to come to America, looking at the Statue of Liberty and weeping as they stood at the railing on that ship. They were sponsored to come to America by a distant relative who, my uncle says, sponsored around 100 people to emigrate, to live in Chicago, to sleep in their living room, to co-sign apartment leases, to help them start businesses and learn English and find their own lives in America. That's why I grew up in Chicago. And I play piano because there was a piano in that home of those distant relatives. And when my Bubby and Zadie saw that piano, they thought to themselves, I guess a nice American family has a piano. And my mom says they bought a little cheap upright piano. My Bubby and Zadie did for their home before they bought furniture. So I play piano because of that family that sponsored mine as bereft and Jews in Europe are not the only ones who suffered such ways, of course, right? It's about as bad as suffering gets. It is. It's happening right now to Ukrainians. It's happened in Africa. It's happened everywhere. But in that moment, it was my ancestors, most of whom are gone to history. No photos, no names. I'll never know. I have no idea why I'm a songwriter, but somebody up there gave it to me. I have no idea where the color of my eyes came from. Somebody gave it to me, and I'll never know who. So over the years, as I've wondered, why am I not choosing to try to make a living in the music business? Why? It's like I'm crossing the street every time it comes towards me. It's like a miracle. I don't know how I avoided the music business. I was living in the music business and managed to dodge it like it was a spitball, for 25 years living in Southern California. And I have managed to avoid any semblance of show business success. But meanwhile, my boy is the kindest boy in his class, to hear his teacher tell us. And a woman in a wheelchair says what she says. And I'll sing more songs this afternoon and maybe drop a couple more of these little stories. They're amazing little moments. And there's I'm sharing them with you because they're special to me, not because they make me, it's like they didn't make me fame or fortune. And by the way, life is, of course, filled with those moments. Most of the best moments are the ones you don't plan and you don't see coming, the one where no one's watching, the little gift, the little kind word, the teacher who touches you, that's what life, the sweetest parts of life. The best part of the vacation is the day you don't plan, right? You have it packed full, but then you leave 2 hours empty, and you take a stroll and you get lost and you find a gift shop and you buy the most precious little object in your entire life at that gift shop that you never would have found if you had planned those 2 hours, right? So my sweetest moments are not the Grammy I strived for 25 years, because I kind of didn't, and I certainly didn't get one. You know what I mean? The sweetest moments are the deepest ones. And the deepest ones come out of nowhere. The deepest ones are the ones that resonate the most. So for me, the songs and the stories and the moments that resonate the most, that's what I've been looking for all these years. That's it. The feeling of mattering, of being connected, a feeling of making a difference. And for me, anyway, specifically for me, and maybe it resonates for you too, the feeling of honoring ancestors I'll never meet or know with a song that takes humanity, and this is going to sound grandiose, and I mean it to sound not at all, that takes humanity 0.00001 inch further away from something like the Holocaust ever happening again. Singing a song about peace and connection so that at the very least, I've done no harm. You know, they always say visit a national park and leave no trace. At least if I've left no trace. But maybe did a tiny drop of good in honor of family I never met, who put a piano in my parents' living room because my mom's parents had a piano in their living room because they were sponsored by the most generous people I've never heard of. Right? We are all built of these things, of these moments of generosity and kindness and little tiny miracles. So I'm sorry, Darlene, I'm a little over, but if I could sing. Okay. All right. I'll just close. This is well, somebody's got to pee. Somebody in this room has got to pee really bad. So gotta honor the bladder, I always say. So anyway, I don't know why I say these things into microphones. I really don't. All right. All right, so this song was mentioned to me like 15 times this morning before the service. So I'm going to sing it for you now, and now you really, I think, have a better understanding, at least, of the guy who wrote it and why he would have written such a song. You know where this song comes from, and you also know why I mean it the way I do every single time of the thousands of times I've sung it since I wrote it in about 2000. Thousands of times. I can never phone it in. And now you have some understanding why. There's one power, invisible, and just see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and just speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, or Jesus, or Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. What we are is one. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Wow, Daniel. Yeah. Wow. We're often called the Church of the Joyful Runny Mascara, so the minister needs to remove any tissues. Would you please stand and let us direct to really connect and feel it in your heart. And the words are not going to be on the screen, but we say that we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. To Daniel Nahmod, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. You win a New Thought Grammy for sure, Daniel. Oh, thank you, thank you. Daniel's going to share one more song in just a moment. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward, our prayer chaplain to come forward. He's actually going to share two more. He's going to share one more during the offertory, but then instead of closing with a peace song, we're going to close with another one of his songs that's a bit of an anthem titled Love Is My Decision. So if your bladder can hold out to about 5 more minutes, wonderful things. Cindy is here today as our prayer chaplain with a prayer box. This wooden box is usually on that table under the tapestry. You can put a written prayer request, and we hold that in prayer and send it to Silent Unity. But our prayer chaplain, Cindy, will be available today to pray with you if you'd like a prayer in confidence after the service we have an area back here. Our young people are coming back in to join us. Our ushers are here to remind us that this is a time for our generosity practice, that it's through our tithes, our donation, our offering that sustains this ministry. And so I want to thank you that are here. I want to thank you online. If this blesses you, I appreciate your giving back to sustain this. So we bless our offering together with this affirmation that says, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. I am now in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. All right, Daniel.
All right, one more song. Call it a bonus round. This one is a little different, well, a lot different than anything I've ever done before, and I've been thinking about what song to sing right now, and I can't think of another one. This is the one song to sing. And I hope you'll, real quickly, I hope you'll come, or stick around. You don't have to go anywhere. And what is it, about 50 minutes from now, I'll do a concert. A concert just means more songs. So an hour and a half or so of music. I won't take an intermission. very casual, and you're invited to stick around and hear some more music. And the only marketing moment I want to have right now is 30 seconds just to tell you why my CD table has morphed into like a craft fair. And that is because, so I have music. I have a USB drive which has all 14 of my Inspirational records on it now, a little flash drive. If you don't know what a USB drive is, you don't want it. Don't ask. But if you know what it is, it's a good deal for a lot of music if you want a lot of albums, including the new one. And then I have download cards, which means you can, if you don't have a CD player, you can put the music on your phone in a second. And then the craft fair part is, I have been traveling with my wife's jewelry now for 6-7 years. I display it more proudly than I do my own music. She's a self-taught silversmith, and her jewelry is truly beautiful. So I have a lot of pieces, a bunch of new ones actually, to put out on the table. That's why there's shiny things. And then the reason there's wood stuff on the table is because I have been making things for this fixer-upper house, and actually longer than that, I've been working with wood. And just the last 6 or 9 months, I've started making some pieces to sell. So I have just a few boxes that I make out of some exotic woods, Purple Heart and something called Limba, and there's cool woods that I like it too much. It takes too much of my time, and my wife wonders where the hell I've gone when I go out to the wood shop for days on end. But that's why that's why all that stuff. So if you're interested even looking at it or buying it, you're welcome to. And that's why the table looks like it does, and that's why it takes me about a half hour to set up now instead of 5 minutes. It's maddening. Anyway, so one more song. You know too much about me already, but this is one of those songs, like One Power and like several I'll sing this afternoon, that are just they're not about a moment, they're not about a relationship, they're not about a specific thought. They're more about what it is I'm doing and why I'm doing it, for whom I'm doing it, and in this particular case for this song, who taught me to do it. This became a much bigger and more personal endeavor as I wrote it, and it's a little crazy, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for the warm welcome and all the kindness. I appreciate it very much. All right, hit it and bring it loud. I could sing about mistakes I've made, broken hearts and broken wings. I could sing about my aches and pains and the one that got away. But it seems to me the world has its hurts to spare. Shadows are everywhere. I decided I've cried enough. There's plenty of songs about tough luck. I'm gonna sing about love. Gonna sing about love. Lift somebody up instead of talking about tough luck. You can bring it up. I can't deny I still dream about the glory, the Grammy, the gold. I cannot lie, I still wish sometimes my eyes and my heart would close. But it seems to me my family escaped the war, and they never sang anymore. They lost everything they had, and if a song is all I can give back, I'm gonna sing about love. Gonna sing about love. Lift somebody up. Gonna sing about love instead of talking about tough luck. Whoa, no more tough luck. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna take my cue from a few folks I look up to. I'm gonna sing about love. Stevie Wonder sings in the key of life. Bobby McFerrin says be happy, it'll be alright. Marvin Gaye showed the way to what's going on. It's a wonderful world thanks to Louis Armstrong. Soul Asylum saved those runaway kids. John Lennon just imagined and the whole world did it. John Denver took a sky with Tina Turner to the sea. Stevie Wonder to a higher love. John Legend and Common to freedom. Pete Seeger is gonna overcome. Bob Marley just smiled at the rising sun. Eminem will lose himself before the moment's gone. Miss Jackson knows the knowledge is what we want. Gloria Gaynor maintained that we're gonna survive. Tim McGraw wants us to live like we are dying. Aretha got R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Bette Midler from a distance, the whole world we see. Tom Petty free falls, Leanne hopes we dance. Josh Grover races up. If we're hurting, R.E.M. understands. Irving D blessed the USA. Van Morrison ushered in a brand new day. Whitney sang about the greatest love of all. Johnny Nash can see clearly now the rain won't fall. Pink knows we're beautiful, Christina does too. Rihanna sees us shining like a diamond. We keep walking like the Foo Fighters, fight the power public enemy's head. Miley is a climber, Andy Grammer keeps his head up. Bill Withers, we can lean on him. Natasha's unwritten, Taylor Swift shakes it off again. Lady Gaga was born this way. Jason Mraz, truly glad to be our friend today. The Black Eyed Peas wonder where is the love. Desiree got a beat, Journey never stopped believing in us. Simon over troubled water made a bridge. Elton John lit a candle for Diana, he did. It's the same love. Macklemore was moved to pray. Izzy made a rainbow with an ukulele. James Brown loud and proud, Bruce Hornsby laid it out the way it is. Queen made us into champions. U2, Dr. King, and the power of one. Sam Cooke made love changes gonna come. Peter Gabriel ain't giving up on us just yet. We are the world, save lives, no stop. They couldn't get Irene Cara, what a feeling alive. Pharrell made us happy. Katy Perry lit a firework in the sky. Carole King, we've got a friend. Switchfoot dared us all to move again. Paul McCartney's words of wisdom were to let it be. And the weight of the world is taken off by Aloe Black and Avicii. So what do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sing about love. Sing about love. To lift somebody up. Instead of talking about tough luck, I'm gonna sing about love.
Oh, Daniel Nahmod. Wow. I mean, what else can you say? Would you please stand? We're going to sing about love one more time. Mary Kay, if you're in the house, come join us. Love is my decision, our closing song today.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart, to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start, can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me. Stand on that bridge. Stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision. Right here and now. Sing it out, here we go. Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me to dance down that road. To dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else. No one else can lighten my load. Can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision.
my decision.
Right here and now.
Right here and now.
One more time. Sing it out loud.
Love is my decision.
It's up to me.
It's up to me
to dance down that road.
to dance down that road. Love is my decision.
No one else.
No one else
can lighten my load.
can lighten my load.
And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Yeah, Daniel Nahmod.